Okay, you guys ready? If you're ready, just say yes, because I'm fully ready at the moment, dudes. Fully ready. Primeagen is actually using the bootcamp from Laravel. For those of you who have never worked with Laravel, you can literally try Laravel for the first time following this bootcamp.
We're gonna figure out all the stuff, and we're gonna enjoy all of it.
I know that Taylor and Primeagen, they actually have a dinner at Laracon US, and I was also on that table, and I got actually the opportunity to speak with Prime, and I feel like he was a very nice dude. So like, obviously, something that I thought literally is that this is like a persona, but it's not. He is literally like this on real life, which is very impressive to see someone with so many energy all the time. The coffee was asking like what replaced the required once on PHP. So now we actually have Composer behind the scenes automatically requiring the file each time you do an import. So if you do something like new user, which is literally instantiating the user class, behind the scenes, actually Composer will automatically fetch the contents of that class, of that file class, before having you the class available for you. That's some sort of lazy loading that happens automatically through Composer. Yeah, it's called as well auto-loading, that's correct.
If you're not sure where to start, we think Blade is the most straightforward. You can always come back and build Chirper again using Livewire or JavaScript. Okay, so maybe we should just start with Blade.
Yeah, that's something I'm always like afraid when people are trying Laravel is, from one perspective, we have support for things like Livewire, but also inertia, but it feels a little bit too overwhelming for especially people who are starting with Laravel. You know, if you go through the Blade journey, you will definitely have to handle less front-end stuff than you typically would have to do with something like inertia, for example.
So this gives me PHP. Where does it put it? Oh, yeah, it did. Oh, I see that. Okay, PHP Composer and Laravel have been installed successfully.
Oh my god. This is really powerful, this PHP.new thing. Oh my god, so you literally get PHP, Composer, Laravel, you know, all the certificates, but literally ready to go. Okay, this is so much better, like to literally as it gets started.
Restart your terminal or run this. Oh, I got a new...
Got you. And then if you want to go to a fully featured dev environment with something with emails and potentially with other stuff, like debuggers and everything, you can install Herd. Yeah, I feel like this is just a better way to get started, literally have something running locally.
Wait, hold on. We have a users table. Where was this created? What was it?
Yeah, Laravel comes with SQLite by default. So literally like these tables are running on SQLite. So we created the file with touch and we literally as well running the migrations. So we are ready to go. You know, once you type Composer, Laravel create project or whatever, you are literally ready to go.
Hey, SQLite. Hey, I know SQLite. Hey, I know that. I know SQLite. I like SQLite.
Well, I must be honest with you. I literally use SQLite in production sometimes. You know what I mean? I have Pinkery, and it's literally running on SQLite since day one. Like, you know, for already like 6 months or whatever, a bunch of data, and it's running on SQLite. I already have to restore. We actually had a broken migration, and restoring the database was as easy as deleting the production database and copy the restore to be the current one. That's it. By the way, SQLite is being used on this website for sessions, database, caching, queue jobs, everything you can think of. SQLite is powering, you know what I mean? So it's super powerful.
Are managed by routes directory of your project. Okay, so they do file-based routing. File-based routing is kind of interesting until you need some sort
of... We don't actually use file-based routing, but I guess you will find out very soon. So basically we have this routes.php file, and actually it's called web.php if I'm not mistaken even, but within that file you declare your routes. I actually have made a pull request, but that pull request was highly rejected by the community. Most of the community literally rejected that pull request, saying that they prefer to see everything on the web.php file. But then we came up with Volt in Folio. You know, those are amazing alternatives to that original pull request I have made.
It has to be a string, and it has
to be...
So
I always use arrays here. What do you guys use? Do you guys use the pipe annotations or use arrays? I always use arrays because I typically have this rule class, which I have to use at some point, and then gives me, again, PTSD of not having consistency, where, like one input will have the pipe annotation and the other will have the array annotation. That gives me like immediately PTSD, and I need to have array all over the place.
Limit.
This is so confusing, like how actually people do this kind of stuff without using something like Laravel. You know what I mean? Like on other languages, like let's say something that typically you wouldn't use a framework like Rust or potentially Go, like how would you validate stuff like this? Like, for example, you want to validate that the given message have a minimum of characters of 3 and 255, but also starts with whatever, but also, doesn't exist already on the table, and you want to have like clear validation rule for all of this in one single line. How would you do this? It would take like literally 50 lines of code, right? So we are so lucky to have something like the validation rules in Laravel. It's kind of crazy. Primeagen is asking me, I would like to ask, do you ever experience high traffic causing a system to go down when using PHP? If so, how would you handle it? So I never experienced a PHP application going down because of PHP itself. It's always because of external reasons, like the disk got full or the database is not keeping up, potentially with too much connections, for example. But never because of PHP, because PHP is literally super fast. You know what I mean?
Okay, there we go. SQLite connection, nice. Database, yeah, we got that one. Database, SQLite, nice. Tables, we have 9 tables. Holy moly.
Yeah, something that's for sure is a little bit overwhelming, especially for someone coming from other ecosystem, is like to see so much stuff already created. Like literally we have an ID, which is auto increment. We have a name, an email verified password, remember token. Like this may seem natural for me and you, but for someone who have never done Laravel, this probably feels too much, because for them, they are used to do everything from scratch. That's why sometimes people think or say that there is too much stuff on vendor or too much stuff on NPM modules, but it's because typically we do bootstrap a lot of things for you, so you don't have to do it. That's right.
There's ID.
What was this? What's happening?
I got really excited. Okay, I couldn't help it. I got really excited. Like, I mean, I don't know if you saw that, but they were like, yeah, and I was like, yeah.
Is it like ads or something? What is this? What's happening? What the heck?
Okay, I'll stop. Sorry.
I have no idea what happened. Like literally no idea what happened.
I'm going to probably have to do the exact same thing for delete.
Yeah, he is actually nailing the tutorial basically at this point.
Fillable, dispatch events,
Just by the way, I never use events on Laravel. I'm like full all in on actions, and I've made literally a live stream about that how actions are actually a way more clear way of developing Laravel applications, and events can be a little bit magical to me. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts about the repository pattern? I never use that. I think it's a programmatic term that it used to be very used on the Laravel ecosystem, probably on the Laravel community, probably like 10 years ago. It's not anymore. I don't think people are using it anymore. It's not a thing anymore,